WTIU website at www.wtiu.indiana.edu and click on the Quick Links banner.
Scenic railway journeys as we explore the world of steam. From its invention and modernization to the impact it had that changed our world forever. Join us as we embark on a journey to some of North America's most scenic and historic tourist steam railways.
Sunday morning at 10:30.
Just a couple of rock and roll Hall of Famers here to jam on great performances. Eric Clapton and Steve Winwood. Together again for a full set of licks, frets, and favorites. Look for Eric Clapton and Steve Winwood live from Madison Square Garden, only on Great Performances.
Monday evening at 9:30. You're watching WTIU Bloomington. Production support for the weekly special provided by Bloomington Hospital Community Health. Bloomington Hospital, providing health care to viewers of the weekly special and residents across South Central Indiana. Service information, maps, and physician listings available online, bloomingtonhospital.org. or by calling 812-353-5252. And with support from the Bloomington Area Arts Council, the Indiana Arts Commission, and the National Endowment for the Arts. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Shea, and thanks for stopping by the diner for the weekly special. The summer season is finally here, and you can hear the crack of the bat at the ballparks. Here's Joe with more on what's coming up on tonight's show.
Thanks, Ann. On the menu for tonight, meet a Bloomington woman who translated her experience as a family member of a soldier in Iraq into a published book. Also take a trip to a couple of unique ballparks in southern Indiana, ones that bring the baseball experience to thousands each year. And go back in time as we show you how baseball used to be played down in West Baden. And finally, a performance from Toby and Mosey. Now let's go over to Ann.
And Jennifer MackInday joins me now, Bloomington author. Thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure,
appreciate
Ann.
it. You have just released this book, or helped release this book that you co-wrote called Friends for Life. And it's about the effects of the Iraq War on the families, correct?
Absolutely. It really highlights the sacrifices that families are making while their soldier is deployed.
You co-wrote this with another woman, and this woman is in Arizona while you're here in Bloomington. How did this happen?
We both had soldiers serving together in Mosul with a striker combat brigade, and we met online. We were both on the same website looking for information about the striker soldiers. We came across one another, decided to exchange contact information so that we could support each other and stay up to date on the news, and we formed a friendship.
That's great. Tell me a little bit of the story about your brother, because that's your family member that went to Iraq in 2004.
He did. My brother joined the Army right out of high school, and he was assigned to a striker combat brigade. They were deployed in 2004 to Mosul, Iraq, which was one of the most dangerous cities in Iraq at the time. And they hit the streets with their Stryker combat vehicles to find terrorists, to find caches of weapons, and they even rescued some kidnapping victims.
He wrote to you in instant messages. I mean, and this has been talked about a lot with this particular war. I mean, it's the first war where people were in communication with their families many times on a daily basis, which was kind of unusual. What was that like for you?
I didn't know that's what was going to happen. I was not involved with instant messaging before my brother was deployed, and I had a real fear about not being able to stay in touch with him. We had spoken almost every day since he was born, and I was really concerned about his mental health if he couldn't have that lifeline home. Ironically, he sent me an email and said, sign up for instant messaging and then I can talk to you because the lines to get on the telephone are 4 hours long and I don't want to wait in line. So that's how we communicated, and it was nice because on the days that he could get to a computer, he was able to tell me that he was okay.
You use that a lot within the book, those conversations.
Yes, we did.
Why did you decide to use that? I mean, what were you hoping to portray to people when they read this book?
We felt it was really important to give readers an accurate picture of what the families and the soldiers are going through and the raw emotions. I mean, every emotion that you can imagine, from anger to sorrow to hope. And the best way to convey those was by actually using the instant messages. And there's a lot of intimate family details that we think bring out the message of what families are going through.
What are you really hoping that people will get out of this book when they're reading it?
My hope is that readers who have had a soldier in Iraq will find the resources in the back of the book useful. There are a lot of resources to help find counseling for PTSD, to help find someone if you need resources for paying a bill or paying your mortgage, or maybe you want to donate to an organization that supports military families in that way. We also want people to read the book and understand that PTSD affects soldiers.
And that's post-traumatic stress disorder.
That's right. Post-traumatic stress disorder affects soldiers. It affects their families. And it's something that's ongoing. And many families have these effects and they don't know what to do about it. And they may feel alone. And they certainly aren't. And we hope when they read the book they realize many people are going through the same thing.
It's really groundbreaking it's a book that's really just for families, which is very interesting and new out there, in particular for this war.
We felt it is appropriate to share some of the details of what happened to our soldiers, but also to share how any soldier or any military family can get help and how we're getting help.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for being on the show. And if you want to buy the book, it actually is at Howard's Bookstore.
It's available now at Howard's Bookstore.
All right. Back to you, Joe.
Thanks, Ann. It's summertime and nothing goes with a hot dog and cold drink,